Okay, so I wanted to go through this review with you. I'm just going to go through things kind of quickly and explain. So which statement is true? So in order for lines to be parallel, alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding angles would be congruent, or consecutive interior angles would be supplementary. So for this, I just fill in the lines, everything that I know. So I know if this is 110, this is 110. So this angle right here would have to be 70 degrees because they are a linear pair. They add to 180. And I just continue to kind of just go through and fill in the rest of this. So if this is 60, this angle right here is going to be 60. This is 120 because they're a linear pair. This is also 120. I go to the next one. This is 115. This angle is 115. This angle right here is going to be 65 degrees, so is this one, and then I go to the bottom. This one angle is 120, this is 120, this is 60, this is 60. And then I look at two things. I look at angles that add to 180, and I look at congruent angles. And what I see here is that I have this angle is 120 and this angle is 120. Well, they're corresponding angles because they're in the same spot. So if corresponding angles are congruent, lines are parallel, so therefore D has to be parallel to E. So, and that was the only one because none of the rest of them had angles in common. For this next one, Hope and Grand Street, the measure of angle 1 is 110 degrees, so the measure of angle 5 would also be 110, and it's asking for the measure of angle 7, which is next to that, which is going to be 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees. This one here, these are just corresponding angles, so if that angle is 30, then angle B is also going to be 30. For this angle, or for this one, it says, I'm actually change my color. It says this angle here is, and this angle here, that's what we're talking about. So the obtuse angle is 3 times the acute angle. And so what you have to think about is, what do I know about those two angles? So for this little acute angle is x, this is going to be 3 times x. And so I know x plus 3x, because they're consecutive interior on parallel lines, because it says the streets are parallel, is equal to 180. So 4x equals 180, x is equal to 45 degrees, or 45 degrees. And so we'd click that one. Number 5, transversal intersects two lines, which conditions would always make the two lines parallel. Vertical angles, you don't have a transversal, you don't have to worry about that. Alternate interior angles, well, we know that's true. Corresponding angles are supplementary. Well, corresponding angles need to be congruent for parallel lines. And consecutive interior angles are complementary. They actually should be supplementary. This is just naming. 4 and 10, they're on the same transversal G. They're on the inside, so they're alternate interior. 2 and 12 for B, so 2 and 12, they're on the outside. They have transversal G, they're on the outside, so they're alternate exterior. 7 and 3, so 7 and 3, they're on the same side of a transversal J. They're both on top, so that's going to be corresponding. 13 and 10 are on the inside, but they're on the same side, and so they're consecutive interior. Complete the statement. 2 parallel lines are cut by transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. If 2 parallel lines are cut by transversals, then the corresponding angles are also congruent. If 2 parallel lines are cut by transversal, consecutive interior angles are supplementary, and alternate exterior angles are congruent. So that one was pretty simple. So going to the next one. This is a little bit more complicated. So it says find x so that P is parallel to Q. So if P was parallel to Q, then these angles would be congruent because they're corresponding. So that helps me find x. So I know 2x plus 2 must be equal to x plus 56. Subtract x, That's x plus 2 is equal to 56. Subtract 2, x is equal to 54. Okay. Actually, I'll just put that x is equal to 54. Alrighty. So that's the first part. Second one, it says find y so r is parallel to s. So this one's a little bit trickier, but basically if this angle right here is y plus 7, then this angle here is y plus 7. And these two angles are a linear pair. Linear pairs are supplementary, so I know y plus 7 plus 3y minus 17 is equal to 180. So it's going to be 4y minus 10 equals 180. Add 10, 4y is equal to 190. Divide by 4. That's going to be 47.5? I think it's 47.5. I'm just going to check that. Yeah, 47.5. So you can write y is equal to, or just write the answer, y is equal to 47.5. Or 47.5. Okay. Can R be parallel to S and P be parallel to Q at the same time? Okay, so I'm going to go back up to R. So if X was 54, then I know the measure of, let's say, this angle here, that would be 54 plus 56, which would be 110 degrees. That's what that angle would have to be. Now, if I go here, if y was 47.5, well, that's going to be, this angle here would be 47.5 plus 7, which is 54.5. Now, if you recall from the previous one, from the previous value of x, this right here was 100, or this right here was 110. Can this be 54.5 and this be 110? Well, no, because the linear pair should be supplementary, and those two angles are not supplementary. So it's kind of more of a verbal description, but the answer is no. And you'd write through whatever your reasoning is. Find x that the two lines are parallel. Well, this angle here and this angle here are the same, and I know these two angles are supplementary, so 6x plus 17 plus 134 minus 4x is equal to 180. So that's going to be 2x plus, I don't want to make any stupid mistakes. Is 151 is equal to 180, subtract 151, so that's going to be 2x is equal to 29, divide by 2, and it's 14.5, so x is equal to 14.5. All it was asking was for x, so x is equal to 14.5. Okay. Number 18 is naming again. 3 and 5 are corresponding. Number 19, 6 and 12 are alternate exterior. 4 and 8 are alternate interior. 2 and 3 are consecutive interior. 8 and 12, so 8 and 12 are corresponding. 5 and 9. 5 and 9 are alternate interior. 4 and 10 are vertical. And 6 and 7 are next to each other on a straight line, so they are a linear pair. Number 26, find the value of x so L is parallel to line M. If they were parallel, then feel like, okay, it is there. It just doesn't appear on my, okay. So you guys have the idea. All right, I have to refresh because my pen stopped working. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, so we're down to, oh, there we go. All of my scribbles. Okay, so this one right here is 4x minus 6 is equal to 3x plus 4x minus 6 is equal to 3x plus 6 because they're corresponding, and if they were parallel they'd be congruent. X minus 6 is equal to 6 plus 6 plus 6, x is equal to 12. And so you so yeah, just make sure that they're asking for x and not also for the angle, that's all. These ones too are corresponding. If they were parallel, so 5x plus 20 is equal to 70. 5x is equal to 50, divide by 5, divide by 5, x is equal to 10. Okay, 28, a little bit more interesting. This angle is 118. Then the angle next to it, this guy here, is going to be 62 degrees. Now, I'm trying to find this angle here. Actually, you know, there's a better way to do this one. Okay. If this angle is 118, then this angle also has to be 118 because those are alternate interior angles. But we're not trying to find that whole angle, we're actually just trying to find this little part. And so I know that since the whole angle is 118, well, the little part that I'm missing is going to be 118 minus 90, which is 28 degrees. So and you could put degrees as well, that would actually be better. This one can be a little tricky. There are a couple ways to think about it. So I'll just kind of look at this in a couple ways. So things that I know if those lines are parallel, that those two angles are congruent to each other. So that's what I'm going to start with. So I can solve for x. So 3x is equal to 5x plus 20. Subtract 5x, subtract 5x, negative 2x is equal to 20, sorry, this shouldn't be plus 20, should be minus 20, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, x is equal to 10. So that's actually pretty helpful in two ways. So you can use that information. So if x is equal to 10, then it's going to be 50 minus 20. So this angle right here would be 30 degrees, and you know that the three angles in a triangle add to 180. You also know that this angle right here is 30 degrees, and if I'm using my triangle property, or in my triangle, my consecutive angle properties, I know this angle plus this angle are consecutive interior angles, so they add to 180. So you can either use the fact that there's a triangle there, and you can say, you know, the 5x minus 20 plus 4y plus 2y is equal to 180, and then just put the 30 in for x, or 10 in for x, and you'll get your 30 there. Or you can say, because they're consecutive interior, that this whole angle, the 2y plus 3x plus the 4y here, because they're consecutive interior, is equal to 180. So that's going to be 3x plus 6y equals 180, but I know I solved for x, x was equal to 10. So 3 times 10 plus 6y equals 180. 30 plus 6y equals 180. Subtract 30. Subtract 30. 6y is equal to 150. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. Y is equal to 25. So you have x is equal to 10, and you have y is equal to 25. Next one, same idea, consecutive interior angles. I know 90 plus 3y plus 18 is equal to 180. Ooh. Sorry about that. 90 plus 3y plus 18 is equal to 180. 3y plus 108 is equal to 180. Subtract 108. Subtract 108. 3y is equal to 72. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Y is equal to 24, I believe. And then I do the same thing with the other side. So 15x plus 30 plus 10x is equal to 180. It's going to be 25x plus 30 is equal to 180. Subtract 30. 25x is equal to 150. Divide by 25. Divide by 25. X is equal to 6. And so I'm just going to put it in order. And then comma, y is equal to 24. Okay, 4 more. All right, same thing with this one. This is, so 5x plus 11x plus 4 is equal to 180. 16x plus 4 equals 180. 16x is equal to 176. X is equal to 11. 5y plus 5 plus 13y minus 5 is equal to 180. 18y is equal to 180. Divide by 18. Divide by 18. Y is equal to 10. So we have x is equal to 11, and y is equal to 10. Just check to make sure I put it in right. Okay, 3 more. This is very similar to the other ones. I set up what I know. So I know things like that's a linear pair. So I know 4y minus 10 plus 3x is equal to 180 because it's a linear pair, but I can't solve it. There's nothing that I can do with that one. So I start thinking, okay, well, I also know this angle and this angle are congruent, so I also know 9x plus 12 is equal to 4y minus 10. Not particularly helpful. It could be. I know 4y minus 10 is equal to 9x plus 12, so I could replace the 4y minus 10 with 9x plus 12. I also could go down here. This angle is also 9x plus 12. So the same idea. I know that 9x plus 12 plus 3x is equal to 180. So that's 12x plus 12 is equal to 180. 12x is equal to 168. And so x is equal to 14 when I divide by 12. And then once I knew that x was 14, well, I can substitute it in. I could substitute it in here. So this is 9x plus, sorry, not in here, and for this x, excuse me. Not that math isn't confusing sometimes, but you don't need me messing that up. I'm going to replace this x with 14. So that's 9 times 14 minus 12 is equal to 4y plus 10. 126 minus 12 is equal to 4y plus 10. 114 equals 4y plus 10. 104 equals 4y. So y is equal to 26. So x is equal to 14. Y is equal to 26. Okay, last two. These ones are a little bit rough. This one here, it does require a lot of algebra. We're going to set it up the same way though. These are consecutive interior angles on parallel lines. So I know that 5x minus y plus 150 is equal to 180. Which is not particularly helpful. And the other thing that I know, because these are also consecutive interior, that 5x plus y plus 130 is equal to 180. Now, I have two equations and two variables. What I want to do is I want to make it so if I have one variable, so if I could replace this with some sort of x or this with some sort of y, I could solve. So what I do is I solve for a variable. So I say y is equal to, so I'm going to replace this y. So in this case, I'm going to subtract 130. So this is 5x plus y is equal to 50. Subtract 5x, subtract 5x. Y is equal to negative 5x plus 50. I'm going to replace this y with negative 5x plus 50. So that's all I'm doing there. So I'm going to write, it's going to be 5x minus, but I replace the y with all of that, plus 150 is equal to 180. That's going to be 5x plus 5x minus 50 plus, this should be a 50, plus 150 is equal to 180. This is going to be 10x plus 100 is equal to 180. Subtract 100. 10x equals 80. X is equal to 8. Okay, once I know x is equal to 8, I can substitute this x in 8 for this x. That's going to be 5 times 8 plus y plus 130 is equal to 180. That's going to be 40 plus y plus 130 is equal to 180. That's going to be y plus 170 is equal to 180. Might subtract 170, y is equal to 10. So x is equal to 8. X equals 8. Y is equal to 10. Alright, so I know that one was rough. Don't stress about it too much, but it's good for you to have questions like that. So this next one, we're given that these lines are parallel, so I kind of write out what I know. I know if these two lines are parallel, because I know by the little arc marks, that 2y is equal to x. Not particularly helpful. I know 2y and z is a linear pair, so I know 2y plus z is equal to 180. Still not that helpful. So then I look at all of these angles and they make a line. So I know that 2x plus 90 plus x is equal to 180. So 3x plus 90 is equal to 180. 3x is equal to 90. X is equal to 30. Once I knew x was equal to 30, well, then this becomes solvable, because I know 2y is equal to 30, so therefore y is equal to 15, And I have this 2y plus z equals 180. Well, now that I know what y is equal to 15, that's going to be 2 times 15 plus z equals 180. That's going to be 30 plus z equals 180 minus 30 minus 30. X is equal to 100, or z, sorry, I said x. Z is equal to 150. So we just write those down. X is equal to, I'll just put this up here. X is equal to 30. Y was equal to 10. And Z was equal to 100. Y was equal to 15. X is equal to 30. There we go. Is equal to 30. Y, and you guys don't have to stick around for me trying to put these answers in, is equal to 15, and Z was equal to 150. And that's that.